2417. Hi everyone. I'll join you in a moment while I get my tablet ready. Okay. Where's this door? Okay. Hi guys. Oh my gosh, I have comments and people, and I see myself on the screen. I'll be shocked if it lasts that long. Wow. Can you tell I've been used to technical problems lately? Hey Lois. I'm trying to prepare myself for issues. Hi Tanya. Let's see. I'm getting my tablet ready just in case my video freezes for whatever reason. My phone's ready. Problem is, if it's my internet or Facebook, I can't do a darn thing about that. But we're going to be really hopeful that everything's going to go so well tonight. Okay. 5, ready, log in. Hi Penny Lane. Okay. We will get started in just a second. I am backing everything up, getting everything ready. Just in case we have technical problems. Wow. Okay, I haven't even used this tablet before. Pull up my video here in case it goes down. Thank you, Penny Lane. Okay, so how do I get to my page on here? There it is. Oh my goodness. So far, so good. Okay. Hi, Adriana. Thank you. Hi, Brandy. Okay, you guys stand by for just one moment while I am going to bring another light here to see if I can lighten up my screen a little bit. It's rather dim, and I want you guys to be able to see me better. So, while we're still building the audience, I'm going to grab a lamp. Give me 1 second. Let's see if this helps. Hey, that helps a little bit. Okay. Now I'm going to move my fan back. Hold on. It never fails. I'm completely ready for my reading, and then something happens right before I'm supposed to start that slows me down. But it is all good. Okay, you guys, I have to share. I am so excited. The universe has helped me because I lost my best friend a few weeks ago, my handy dandy brass pendulum that I love so much. Couldn't find it for weeks and was really kind of panicked, but I just went with the flow and worked with what I had, which was this little mini wooden one. It's pretty kind of tiny, and it's great. It works and all. It's made from rosewood, and it's a pretty little thing, and it does the job. But for major healing, like I really use them for Reiki and transcendental healing, it's pretty small. And so then I was also using my malachite one, and that's all okay too, but for certain universal children, our vibration is so high that crystals aren't the best to use for dowsing. They are fine for a yes-no question, but for like healing and doing a lot more in-depth transcendental dowsing and things like that, it's better to use wood, or brass. So this was my handy dandy one that I used for everything, from my transcendental, for my healing, for everything, simple questions. But it disappeared. I couldn't find it anywhere. And I wasn't really willing to put out a lot of money for a really good pendulum, like really good one. But I had enough paid readings recently that I decided, I need a new one. If I'm not going to find my brass one, if I'm going to be doing healing, then I really need to go ahead and break down and invest in one. And now I went ahead and bought one. I was waiting. I bought a really great one. It was way more expensive than I ever planned on paying, but worth it. No sooner than after I purchased it and was waiting for it to show up, my hubby found this one, which was silly because they never took the time to use my other pendulums to try and find this one. But I thought I lost it in my bedroom, and I searched every inch of my bedroom and it wasn't there. So now I realized that the universe wanted me to have this new one. They wanted me to break down and do it. In fact, they sent me extra paid readings so that I'd be able to afford it. And now I'm so excited to share it with you. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. Look at that. Now that is called the Healer Hunter pendulum. It is a good 1, 2, 3.5, 4 inches long at least. And this is the mini version. They were out of the full-size one. I didn't realize how big the full-size one had to be, but when this one got here, I was like, holy cannoli. Glad I got the mini version. Anyway, it's quite pricey, but so worth it. I'm so excited. Smells good. It's beautiful. It's hefty. So I'm going to practice with it tonight and use it. I've already cleared it, programmed it, I saged it. It's all ready to go. So I'm really excited to use my new baby. And I got to sleep with it tonight to get my energy on it. So I am really glad you guys are here. Thank you, thank you. Okay, so hopefully it'll get better, Kimberly, or go out and come back in, hun. Okay, so I'm getting straight into my spiel so we can get going before we have anything come up. So if you're just joining me, just watching this video back for the first time, haven't ever seen me read before, I am really glad you're here. I can't do this without you guys. So welcome, and I am both psychic and a medium, which means I can read living people and the dead. That's okay, Nicole. I just started. I had Hunter stopping me. I was talking to my daughter and her friends. She has this amazing new friend who's very spiritual. It's really exciting. It's her first spiritual friend who had to show me all of his crystals. He's a doll baby. Anyway, they're young adults, so it's so cute to see her make those connections that she needs. So I couldn't walk away. They were in the middle of talking and showing me all their crystals and how excited they were. So I apologize for being a little bit late. But anyway, I am clairvoyant, so I receive messages, pictures in my third eye. I'm clairaudient, which means I can hear the messages. Yes, exactly, Nicole. I can hear words, sentences, and I'm clairsentient, so I can receive feelings and emotions. Also some claircognizance. I just get downloads of random information. usually from our guides or angels. So I can do a lot of different types of readings for you. Tonight, the kind of readings I'm doing are the mediumship, which is talking to your loved one or your spirit guides. I can also do card readings. Here's all my cards. I'm not going to show them all, but these are just some ideas. Okay. I have the Divine Circus Oracle. Has all kinds of, I don't know if you can see these. It's easier than taking them out of the box. Different circus characters and entertainers with some really great messages. It's actually really positive messages in here. They get to the point and they tell you if there's something negative, but in a very positive way. I also have Angel Therapy Oracle cards. These are great for daily things. I have the Psychic Tarot, which is Oracle, but with a spin off of the tarot cards. Crystal Tarot, or excuse me, Crystal Oracle. Now all of these we ask our guides questions of, or our higher self. Usually our guides answer because that's who I call upon. I also have past life cards, so if you need to work on a certain past life or are curious about if there's a past life you need to work on, I also have archangels. So if you want a question answered, we ask these of our guides and they will give us the answer through the cards. But if you have a spirit or a loved one that's not communicating very well and you want to ask them a question, it's just not getting answered properly, or even if you just want to use these, we use the spirit messages cards to ask our actual loved one a question, and then they can give us a more detailed answer than they may be able to just say and get across to me. So I can do card readings, I can do mediumship, I can ask questions with the pendulum, or I can do a combination of all of those. So when it's your turn, which by the way I am reading from a list tonight, if you would like to receive a reading, the sign up sheet is on, it's a note pinned to the top of the main page. So you just go back out of here, find the pinned sign up list on the top of the page or near the top, and then put your name in the comments and you'll be added to the list. Yeah, Penny Lane was here. I don't know if she is still here, if she stepped out for a second. It might be easier when there's low numbers just to do a roll call. That's what we had to do last week, or Tuesday night, Nicole. Okay, so if it's your turn, we tell you that you're up. I need you to tell me if you, or what type of a reading you'd like, any of the ones that I mentioned. If you have a specific loved one you'd like to connect with, and the type of reading, the question you have, and who you want to connect with, if anybody's specific. So you don't have to have a question, you don't have to ask for somebody specific. If you don't, then I see who steps forward for you and what message they bring you. But you'll get answers to direct questions if you have a question, so sometimes that's better if you'd like to receive actual answers to things. So I need you to do all that for me, and if it's your turn and I'm reading for you, please, if I ask you a question, answer in as complete of a sentence as possible. It does not have to be a full-length sentence, but please answer, yes, I graduated high school. No, I'm not looking for a new job. Because if you don't do that, I may ask 2 or 3 questions back to back. We have to wait on the answers. They lag sometimes. The comments can take a long time to come up. And by the time I get your answer and it just says yes, I have no idea which question you're answering. And then I have to ask again, and then we have to wait again for that answer. And it can take quite a bit of time. In the long run, it can actually take a big chunk of time out of another reading that we might not get to do in the end. Speaking of which, I'm only going to be able to read for about 2 hours tonight. Now I'm starting late, so I'll go to about midnight, a few minutes after maybe. I'll finish up the reading that I'm on at midnight, but I can't do 3 to 4 hours tonight. I do have plans after this, so but I'll do a good 2 hours. And just the other thing is names. It's always my pet peeve that I have to bring that up. I'm not really good at hearing names. Sometimes I get it right off the bat, no problem. Sometimes it's very close to the name that I'm supposed to be getting, but it's a little bit off. Maybe I don't hear the first letter or the last letter, or I switch 2 letters accidentally. Point being, if I'm reading for you, and I'm not ignoring everybody, I'm saying hi to everybody, but I know you're also doing a roll call for Nicole, some of you too. So if I'm reading for you and I say a name that's very close to a loved one's name, but it's not exact, then it's correct. Trust me, I'm telling you, Spirit got it right. I just didn't get it right. And that's on me. That's my abilities still get wonky sometimes. So let me know in the comments. Go ahead and correct me. That's fine. And I can confirm it at that point, because if I have the name from you, then I can ask, is it this name? And they'll tell me yes or no. But if I'm just drawing blindly and hearing just what they tell me and I get it wrong, then I don't know what to go on. So please let me know that. Also understand sometimes we get some garbage at the beginning that doesn't seem like it's relevant to anything. A lot of times your loved one is just telling you names of people or random facts to validate that it is them, that they know that you're related to a Bob or Mary or Celeste or whoever. And there's no real meaning behind it other than that, just to validate that they are who they say they are and that they know your life and who you're involved with. And then other times we get Spirit that tries to jump in line, or they'll be here. I haven't really told you guys about this before, and I'll keep it real brief, but because I haven't been reading that long, even though my skills are pretty darn good and pretty accurate for the amount of time I've been reading for, I still get like my clairvoyance and everything, my abilities are like tunnel vision. So I only see who steps in front of me. I don't see all the spirit around the room like some readers do. I see who's in front of me, who has stepped forward, and I can hear a name over here or a name over there. And they may just be right off the corner of the person I'm looking at. But I wouldn't know if they're for you, the person I'm reading, or for somebody else. So while I may be talking to your grandmother, if Joe's over here trying to get my attention and saying his name, he may be for you, or he may be for the next person I'm supposed to read, or somebody later down the line. Sometimes they come a day early, so he may not even be here for anybody that's here. Or if somebody meant to come here and they were going to log on, but they had technical problems or something came up, their loved one could still be here waiting, thinking that they're going to make it on. So there's all kinds of possibilities, but because I can only see what's right in front of me, I don't always know who they are until I start getting into it a little more. So just bear with me. We'll get there. We always do. So with that said, I think we need to figure out who's first, and we're not getting very far with the names. I'm going to read these names out loud in case anybody just isn't looking at their screen at the moment. They think, oh, I'm too far down the list. So I'm going to read these names, and if this is you, please let us know. If you're here and you hear your name, speak up to let us know you're here. Otherwise, we're just going to keep going, or we're going to do a roll call of who's here and just take those people. Beverly Marty, Elsa Arias, Danielle Sokolowski, sorry if I butcher your name, I apologize, Sokolowski, Angela Tamponi DiVincenzi, Kay Ward, Suzette Williams, Monica Henyon, Jamie Elaraga, Amy Campbell. That's our first group. Miocha Jackson. I see Tammy. Tammy Sloan is here, and she's listed here. So hi, Tammy. Stand by, girl, because it looks like you'll be read. I just got to see if anybody else is here that's before you on the list. Lori Swade, Mary Bracken, Jenny Lehrer, Wallace, and Kathy Brand, which Tammy's here, so she's before those few. But yes, Tammy so far is the top one on the list. Good. Thank you, Nicole. And Nicole, I know we're probably going to catch up later this weekend, but before you joined, I showed everybody my new baby. I'm so excited. I got a new Hunter Healer. That's what it's called. My new pendulum. So I'm going to be using that tonight. Okay, so Tammy, are you ready? Do you want to do this? I'm going to write your name. Tammy. Okay, thank you, Nicole. I was explaining to them that I lost my Old Faithful, my brass one, and I couldn't find it anywhere. I thought it was in my bedroom. But yes, it's beautiful, isn't it? It's a combination of this kind, the Osiris, and something else. 3 major pendulums that they combined and put into this like cucurous wood or something, calcareous wood, and it's beautiful, so beautiful. It's supposed to be one of the very best for healing and transcendental dowsing, but it can do anything. Okay, Tammy, can you please let me know what type of reading you'd like, if you have a specific question, and who you'd like to speak to. So yes, and that's the thing, is that's what I was going to say, is I went for a month without this puppy and just made do with my crystal one and my little tiny wooden one that's like half, well, you can see, look. And it was fine, but it's nothing compared to this one. So I finally broke down and bought this one for myself after I had a few paid readings, and I used the money to do that. And guess what showed up right after I did that, Nicole? Surprise, surprise, Don finds it in the couch out of nowhere. I don't remember having it anywhere near the couch. So I think you're right. I think they were telling me I needed to get this for myself, but I wasn't going to do it because I didn't want to spend the money. Okay. Tammy replied. Awesome, Tammy. We can definitely find that out for you. Close my... Okay. I better move this to where I will not knock it off. Okay, let's find that out. See who steps forward. Okay, Tammy. I know you do, so it's a matter of finding out who they are. And I will definitely find that out for you. Let's see. Put that up there. Gathering the big guns here. And this is my crystal big guns. Okay. All right. Tammy Williams. Okay. I'm hearing the name. Now, when I just say these names, these could be loved ones, someone that you know. It could be a guide. I get to that as I go. But I'm hearing right off the bat, I'm hearing the name Kendall. And it's not till I ask whoever it is to step forward that I can see them. So, do you know the name Kendall, Tammy? Could be living or deceased, family member, friend, or coworker. Could be a guide. If you don't know them, then it's probably a guide. But do you know anyone with the name of Kendall? It could be first or last name as well, because Kendall could be a last name. I think I already know the answer, but I'll have you confirm first. I wrote it down, but okay, who else? And I also have a Jennifer. So let me know if you know a Kendall or a Jennifer. Curly, okay. White, thin, 20 to 30. Okay, is that no to both or just the Kendall? If you could say no Kendall or no Jennifer or no to both. Okay, thank you. And I wrote down already that she's your angel, but I wanted you to confirm and make sure you didn't know a Kendall first. Kendall, angel. So just so you know, I like to show that because even though I confirm it by asking you, I write it down what I'm getting so that we can see if I'm correct or not once you confirm it. Okay, and I got Jennifer is, my handwriting's atrocious, but Jennifer, spirit guide. Okay, so you have Kendall, who's one of your angels, and Jennifer, who's one of your spirit guides. They're both spirit guides, but one was a human once before, and the other's always been an angel. So they're stepping forward for you. Kendall has long brown hair, curly, and she's got like a satin headband in. She's white, thin, maybe looks like she's in her late 30s, even though she's an angel and she could be hundreds of years old, I don't know. But that's just what she looks like when she appears. Jennifer has long, straight, like sandy blonde hair. Also white, thin, appearing in her early 30s. Kendall has a dress on. It's like a white, or like actually it's a blue, real light pale blue. Jennifer has a white long sleeve tee with like a winter type vest over it and look like jeans. Let me see if anybody else, like any loved ones, step forward for you. Tammy, do you have an aunt on your father's side that has passed? At least I think it's your father's side. Could be your mom, but I heard aunt and father close enough together that I believe that it means aunt on father's side. I'm also hearing the name Dorinda. I think it's Dorinda, or it could be like Doreen or something close to Dorinda. It could be even Linda, but I don't. Linda, Dorinda. So does any of that ring a bell? A Dorinda or a Linda or a Doreen, something close to Dorinda. But also, like I said, I think an aunt. Well, I know an aunt. I think she's on Dad's side. And I don't know if the name's related to her or not. It could be somebody else completely, because it's somebody over here, not out front. Man, they're just shouting all kinds of names. Yes to the aunt. Okay, so Durin. Also, once we figure out who this loved one is, your aunt, I believe, you're saying yes on Dad's aunt, or aunt on Dad's side. Then we'll figure out who these other two are, because I also heard the name Jeremy. So there's just a whole bunch of shouting their names out. And we'll place them, we'll figure out who they are. But I just want to make sure that your aunt's name isn't related to this lady's name, or if she's not naming some relatives. Yeah, see, I'm not sure what you're saying yes to or what you're saying no to. So, is that yes to the aunt being gone, passed, and is no to the name Dorinda or similar name? And then also I've got this Jeremy. But I don't know if Jeremy is just a name that your aunt's putting out there because it's somebody you know. And as you can see, it takes a while for these to come up. Okay, thank you. So no to Dorinda. Good, so we know aunt. Aunt is here. So the only thing I still need to know then, and I've said since you first started answering, is Jeremy. Do you know a Jeremy? Again, living or deceased? Because I feel like they're asking or saying something about Jeremy. Like one of your loved ones is mentioning his name. But yes, I'll get to Aunt's message as soon as I find out if you know Jeremy or not, because I need to know if he's part of the message. Hi Michelle, this is where I am every Friday night. Okay, thanks for validating about the aunt and to the Dorinda. No Jeremy. Okay, thank you. No Jeremy. So I'm going to write those two here, and we'll come back to them in a minute. First, I want to address the aunt, because she's standing here patiently waiting for all this. So we're going to get her message for you, and then find out who Dorinda and Jeremy are, if they're for you or somebody else, but I want to put them to the side for the moment. So your aunt, let's see. The kids. Okay, thank you, Tammy. She's talking about, your aunt is talking about how beautiful the kids are. Aw, that's okay, Tammy. And you're fine too, Michelle. It's okay. I got your messages. We got it. But your aunt is wanting to talk about kids. These kids are so beautiful. She's so proud of them. She knows that your family's proud of them. She said she can tell your father's proud of them. And she's also saying there's some big life change that she is aware of and wants to congratulate you about. She's saying that you've had it really, really rough, and things are, if they haven't already, they're going to start really turning around and getting better and better for you. The good portion of your hardship is over, and that she wants to encourage you to have faith and trust that while life still happens and you're still going to have obstacles and problems, that you can relax and know that the worst is over. Is any of this making sense to you, Tammy? Hey, Tosh. She's saying that it's been hard watching you struggle with a lot of challenges, and she's proud of you for how strong you've been through it all and that you've come so far. And she also said that you're starting to make better choices for yourself, and that makes her very happy. That makes all of your loved ones happy. Let me know if this is making sense to you, Tammy, because I'm not sure if it all is or just some of it is. Okay, good. And she said that it's only natural to want to talk to your loved ones, like those that you miss, those that have passed. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's fine. It's wonderful. It's great. But she said you have guides up here, spirit guides, your angels, like Kendall and Jennifer. She said that I've personally watched bring you through some crazy things. And she's actually seen them save your life before without you knowing at times. And she said that she just wants to remind you that they're here for you and that they want you to make sure that you ask them for help. Okay, good. Thank you, Tammy. She wants, your aunt and your loved ones want you to know basically that while it's There's nothing wrong for calling on them, talking to them. That's what they want. They want to hear from you. They want to know that you love them and miss them. But these guides, she's saying, these guides are like incredible, and they want so badly to help you in every way. So don't forget to call on them when you need it, because they're here for you, and they've gotten you out of many a jam before, she said, and they will continue to. But fortunately, a lot of that, it's not going to be nearly as bad as it has in the past. Do you feel like you've been making better choices lately? And I don't know what that means or what it's around. All I know is they're just saying better choices in general for you, for your life. Because they're wanting to address that, your choices, and improving on your choices. Your guides are stepping in now and agreeing with your aunt that you are so incredibly intelligent, they said. But you don't give yourself enough credit. And so in the past, because of that, because of hurting, because of pain, and getting emotional, at times you would make some choices that you regretted later. And they're saying you don't have to worry, you don't need to do that anymore. You're on the right path, and that you need to continue to make better choices for yourself, for the kids. Okay. Yeah. Well, they do, Tammy. They hear you. They just can't respond the way that we'd like them to. But your guides are always responding, whether you see it or not. Whether you hear your guides or not, you can be sure that if you ask them for help and guidance, that all it takes is asking, and it starts the ball rolling. They start acting on your behalf and helping. And you may never realize that it's because they heard you and that they're doing it, but it is. And when you ask your loved ones, if they can't answer you, they pass the message on to your guides. But your guides need permission from you because they honor your free will. And yes, okay, good, thank you. They are recognizing and validating that you're making better choices, and they're saying you can continue to do that. Keep it up. They're proud of you because you are so smart. You don't give yourself enough credit. You don't believe in yourself enough at times. And they said, stop that. Stop discrediting and undermining your power. That you're an incredibly powerful young woman. Look at everything you've already come through. Look how far you've made it and you've survived. You've got a warrior mentality, but yet you get so emotional that it's almost like you'd rather curl up in a ball and not fight and just give in sometimes. And they're saying it's okay to have an off day. It's okay to not feel strong, but then you have to pull yourself up and fight through it because you are so much stronger than you give yourself credit for, so much smarter than you give yourself credit for. So they really want you to know that if anybody's a judge of this kind of character, it's them. They know if you're smart. They know if you're powerful. And they're saying you are. And you can trust that and believe it. They're also saying to trust your instincts, your intuition, and know that that is guided by them, and they are there guiding you through your intuition. Let me ask them about your dad and Debbie. Yeah, they're definitely okay. And Dad is able to talk. He is here. He was just kind of holding back, allowing your aunt and the others to speak. Because he said, I know she'd want to hear from me, but I feel like they can put into words better what needs to be told to her, better than I can. Great, Tammy. Thank you for validating that. But yeah, Dad is here and says that they're both fine. They're all fine. But Dad says the things that your aunt is talking about and your guides are talking about are the same things he would want to tell you, but they could tell you better. So that's why he was letting them speak up. And he just said to me, honey, you know I'm with you. You know I'm still here. And you know that I'm sorry. Either you or he, one of them is getting emotional. And I'm feeling it. Like welling up a little bit. Are you okay, Tammy? But yeah, he's saying, baby girl, you know I'm here. You know I haven't ever gone anywhere. I try and tell you that, but it's just so hard to get through. He said, it does take a lot out of me to try and show myself or let you know that I'm there. He says, but you know we've talked. You know that I'm still here. And please don't ever doubt that. He said, if I could talk to you every day, I would. I definitely would. But I have to settle for these kind of things. And I'm just grateful that I can talk to you this way. Have you been hearing a certain song play recently, lately, Tammy, that either plays a lot and makes you wonder why, or plays and reminds you of him, reminds you of Dad? Because he's saying something about a song, that he's having a certain song play and he's having you pay attention and like notice it. And that's his way of trying to tell you that he's there with you. And I don't know if you're noticing it or not. Okay, good. I'm glad you're good. I just wanted to make sure because I was feeling the emotion. Not sure which one of you is feeling it. But yeah. Hi, Renee. There's some song that you either are noticing playing a lot or can't get out of your head or something, and he's trying to, and he's the one making that happen. Do you know what I'm talking about, Tammy? Trying to come up with the name of it. But me and names, man. Let's see, what is it? I'm hoping you know. What? What is it? Um, Now, this isn't in reference to the song he was just talking about, Tammy, but did your dad like country music? Okay. Okay, well, pay attention to that. I'm still trying to get the name of it, and I'm like hearing, it's like right there on the tip of my tongue, and I can't get it to come in all the way. So hopefully by the time we're done, I'll have thought about it. But yes, pay more attention because you should notice it now that you're aware of it. And now know that that's your daddy bringing your attention to it, or having you change the station on the radio right at that moment to hear that song again. He said you may hear it on the radio or the TV, or you may just have it playing in your head when you wake up, because he would have told it to you while you were sleeping, so you like wake up and it's just stuck in your head. So yeah, pay attention, and if it's the same song you're hearing on a regular basis, then that's it, and that's him. But I am curious, did he like country music? Maybe Garth Brooks, and not the song he's talking about, but I'm asking for a different reason. Well, that's what I'm trying to get, is the message. That is one part of the message, that he wants you to pay attention to the song, listening for the song, and knowing that it's him, that he's still trying to connect with you. But I also heard a country song, and I'm wondering if it's from him. At a concert. Okay, thank you. Did he go to do you know if he went to a Garth Brooks concert? I'm hearing that song, All My Rowdy Friends Are Coming Over Tonight, Hank Williams Jr., and then there was another song by Garth Brooks I just heard. So do you know if he went to either of their concerts, Hank Williams Jr. or Garth Brooks? He could just be using these songs as examples, symbols, but I feel like he might have gone to one of their concerts, and he's basically saying, I miss you, baby girl, and I wish I could take you to one of my favorite concerts, and that we could hang out together. Did you and your daddy ever go to a country concert or any kind of concert? Because I'm just trying to put this together. It doesn't necessarily mean you did. I'm just curious if that's why he's bringing it up. But I can tell he likes the music, but I'm not sure if he liked it enough to go to the concerts when he was alive. But that's what I'm feeling, that he did, and that if he was still alive, that's one of the things he would want to do. Like take his baby girl to a concert, like his favorite music, and just party and sing together and have a good time. Okay, well maybe that's why he told me both. Let me ask him. Because the very first song I heard was Hank Williams Jr., and then I heard Garth. So I think, yes, that's what he's saying. That's why he said those two, because it's his way of saying, I love the country music, I love Hank. I just heard Bocephus, and if you went to the Garth concert, that would make sense, That was his way of tying those two together. Like, I don't care which we go to, if we go see Hank Jr. or we go to see Garth, but I would want to take you to a concert. And he's saying he wants you to live life and celebrate. Like as if he's with you, because he is. So if there's a concert you want to go, and just imagine Daddy being there with you. Imagine him, singing his favorite song with you, or just stand there whistling, hooting, whatever he would do. But just being with you, enjoying the time together. That just because you don't see him there, he's definitely there in spirit. And that's what he wants you to do, is get out. And what do you do at a concert? You celebrate, you party, you have a great time, you listen to great music, and you just really let loose and let go of your cares, and you leave the world behind for a couple of hours. And that's the kind of thing he'd really like to see you do more often. Not saying that you don't do it ever, but he'd like to see you do it more often. But being safe, not partying too hard, not doing anything dangerous. He just said your life is really getting there, and he wants you to go out and have fun and live it up, but be safe and make good choices. Take care of yourself and take care of the kids. Oh, I'm glad, Tammy. You're very welcome. Yeah, he says, party like I'm with you. And he said, and then also, he said, do those things in memory of me. You can honor me by loving life and enjoying it. He said, I know it's hard. I know it's not easy. But you do honor me, and you make me so happy when I see you happy. He said, well, you need to do these kind of things with your husband, and you need to do these kind of things with your girlfriends. And then he said, you also honor me by just spending good quality time with your kids. He said, man, had I known when I was with you and alive that my life would be so short, I would have been much more present in the moment. He said, in those times where I felt like I was busy and I was distracted and you asked me to play when you were a little girl, I would have stopped and taken the time to play with you. He said, but none of us ever think that we're going to have so little time with our loved ones. So please stop and take that time with your kids. He said, we all get distracted at times. I get that. It's fine. It's part of life. He said, but make sure the time you spend with your kiddos is good quality life, good quality time, where you're actually playing with them, you're present, you're mindful of what they're telling you, and listen to their conversations. He's reminded me of what I do with my little guy. My little guy just blah, 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 and he just keeps going on and on and on and on and on, and I'll listen to him for the first couple minutes, and then I just wind up tuning it out, because he can talk forever about things that make no sense, and he's 7, and it's so easy to get on my phone, get on the laptop, or reading, or whatever I'm doing, and I start to lose total track of time, and before I know it, he's talked for 5 minutes, and I couldn't repeat hardly any a word back, and he'll say, you know what, Mom? And for some reason, I'm able to say, yeah, and I'll agree with him just to appease him. But I really don't know what he just said. And it's like he's showing me that out of my own experience so that I can explain it to you. That, yeah, he just wants you to take the time to enjoy them and not take it for granted, because he wishes that he had paid more attention when you were younger, and the time shortly before you lost him, especially. He said you just have no way of knowing what tomorrow brings. But he says he loves you very much, Tammy. And he said everybody does. Everybody sends their love. You've got him, you've got your aunt. He said he has seen Debbie, and he'll tell her you asked about her. And I believe you have a grandmother there, and several others he's referring to. But he said they all send their love. I need to be wrapping it up, Tammy, but is there anything you'd like to ask him or say in closing? And Nicole, do we have any idea yet who's next? Good, I'm glad. That's good, Tammy. He's got such a nice presence about him. I mean, I can definitely feel his love for you. There's no doubt about that, for sure. Okay, great, Nicole, thank you. Hi, Mary. Suzette. And Mary Bracken. Awesome. Okay, so we'll just wait for Tammy's response here and see what she would like to say or ask. And then we'll wrap up. And in the meantime, Suzanne, you can be letting me know, or excuse me, Suzette, sorry, what type of reading you would like, any question, and who you'd like to connect with. Oh, you're welcome, Tammy. I will tell him that, but I know he already knows, but give me a moment because I'll definitely tell him. He said, yes, of course I know that. He said, I love you too. And he said, I miss you every day, but I see you, and just wish you understood how much I'm really, really with you. So listen for that song and see if you can pick up on exactly what it is. And now, he just told me, and now when you hear Hank Jr. or Garth, you can think of me too. And know that I'm thinking of you at the same time, because he knows when you think about him. So if you hear a Garth or a Hank song and it makes you think of him, he's aware of it. So you're both thinking the same thing at the same time, and that's a connection. Whether you see him or not, that is a connection and a bond that will never, ever go away. You're welcome, Tammy. Thank you. I wish you the best with everything, whatever changes you're making, whatever new things are going on, good for you. Excuse me. And just know that your family on the other side is extremely happy for you, and they're saying to keep up the good work, that you're doing amazing, and they're all very proud. Okay, Suzette, are you with me? Let me know what you would like to do, and while I wait for that, you're very welcome, Tammy. You take care. Okay, while I wait for Suzette, I'm going to go ahead and prepare. Let's see. Oh, actually, while I'm waiting for Suzette, I want to find out who Dorinda and Jeremy are. I still have them on the list here. Let me see. Oh, okay. Dorinda is for Suzette. And what about Jeremy? All right. They knew Suzette was coming up, so they're for her. Okay, let me prepare. know you look more ridiculous doing that.
Can you see me?
Of course I can. Sorry. Oh, my hubby's back there trying to be all sneaky so nobody sees him, and then he looks like a fool instead of just standing up and walking and letting the dogs out. Oh my goodness. That's funny. Okay, I hope you're with me, Suzette, because I already have a couple people coming through for you. So Suzette Williams, if you're still here, please let me know what you'd like kind of a reading, who you'd like to hear from, and what kind of question you have. They're all cracking up laughing with me, babe.
Sorry.
They think it's funny. Okay. All right, we'll give Suzette a minute while I prepare anyway, and if Suzette doesn't come back within that minute, then we'll go ahead with Mary and take Suzette if she comes back. So let me prepare, and then we'll see if she comes back in time. It could just be the comments lagging that far behind, so we'll see what happens. I know, right? Could you hear that, Michelle? It's embarrassing because she'll come in here when I am doing a private reading and just start drinking and drinking and drinking, and she will drink for like 2 full minutes, and he keep hearing it, and I'm like, really? And I'll try and shoo her away, and it's like the more I shoo her, the longer it takes because she's like got ADD. So she stops to look at me and then goes right back to drinking again, and it's hilarious and embarrassing at the same time because I know the people that I'm reading for have no idea what the heck's going on, and it's really funny. Okay, let's see. What was that? That's funny, Mary. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you. Oh, yeah, well, unfortunately, it's not all that rare around here to see him. Well, when I need him, I can't find him. And that's the truth. Yes, and I've got way too many fur babies around here, April. Oh my goodness. The daughter just keeps bringing more home. And I don't know what to do with them. We've literally got a zoo. We do. Between the 2 dogs and the 1 cat that we authorized, she brought home another cat, a bearded dragon, 2 rats, and a hedgehog. Half of those belong to her boyfriend, the hedgehog, 1 cat, and the bearded dragon. And now they're all staying with us. It's a mess. That's right, guys. Okay, so Suzette, I guess I lost you, hopefully only temporarily. Hopefully Suzette will join us back here in a short bit. Maybe she's having some technical problems. Yes, it is a menagerie. Oh my gosh, 6 and 6? Where in the world do you... I hope you have a lot of land there, girl, because how you keep all that in one house, I could not. No way. Actually, the rats, you know what? These rats they're not like street rats, you know, what you would find in the streets of a big city. They're the fancy rats. So they're nice and clean. They actually take really good care of themselves. Yes, they poop a ton, but they do take care of themselves, clean themselves, and they're extremely intelligent, and they're very good at bonding. I didn't think I'd really care for them either, Penny Lane, but honestly, they really are sweet. They like to nuzzle in your shirt. They like to go around the back of your neck and sit in your hair and hide in your hair. And they're actually really, really, really sweet. I mean, there's once you hold one and you see how clean and nice they are, and that they're not, I mean, they're just eating regular rodent food, and no different than a hamster or a gerbil or a guinea pig. Honestly, you see that they are really cool. Really cool. I mean, their tail kind of creeps me out a little bit because it's like this beautiful fur, and then they got like this naked tail, and it's kind of weird. I don't know. But anyway, you know what, Mary? We're going to go ahead. Yes, they are, Renee. Much so. And Nicole. Yeah, I like that name too. But I can't have any more animals till I have a bigger house. We just live in a little typical bi-level house in a regular neighborhood. We have a decent sized backyard, but most of these are not going in the backyard. So half of them are in the basement and half of them are upstairs. But that's why I told my daughter, you keep those and your boyfriend's stuff down in your room, and I'll come visit them if I want to see them. Okay, Mary. Oh my gosh, I love Great Danes. Yes, they are like having a horse. They knock everything over, knocking you over. Ah, Nicole, I don't, talk about that. Okay. Okay, Mary, why don't you go ahead and let me know what you'd like to do for your reading? I don't want to hold up any longer. We'll go ahead and get started. Okay, guides. Okay. And loved ones. Awesome. We can definitely do that. Aw. Yeah, Great Danes are just like gentle giants. They are so beautiful, amazing, loving dogs. They really are. I would want one so bad, except for I hear that a lot of them have health issues, and I'm not good with health issues with animals. I'm too emotional. I couldn't deal with losing one early or watching them suffer for some reason. Oh my goodness. I bet, April. Holy moly. Okay, Mary, let me see who steps forward for you, okay? Give me just a moment. Oh my gosh. I couldn't imagine a Great Dane laying across my lap. I talk about pins and needles. Holy. Wow. Mary, has your mother passed? Or do you have someone that's passed that was like a mother figure to you? I heard the word mother. But I'm not sure if it's your actual mother or a mother-like figure. Could be a grandmother that raised you, or an aunt that was very maternal towards you. But someone that is a mother or a mother figure to you. Okay, thank you. Let me ask if it's either one of them. It gives me something to go on. I'm just sensing a motherly energy, so it very much could be grandmother or aunt. Let me see. It is your grandmother. As soon as I said which mother figure is here, I immediately heard grandmother. You lived with your grandmother a lot when you were growing up. Okay, then that makes sense. Why it would be a grandmotherly figure. I mean, a motherly figure, excuse me. Because she's stepping forward as being here when I asked that. And I'm hearing you have an aunt here too. And a grandfather. Are all present and accounted for. So aunt grandmother, okay. You also have spirit guides here, and we can address these people, but I want to kind of get everybody accounted for. He passed when you were very young. Okay, yeah. He seems very happy to be here. He's all smiles. But you do have a couple guides stepping forward too, so let me get them checked in, so to speak. I have a Yolanda. And Virginia. Is it Virginia? Wait a minute. Okay, good. I get to use my handy dandy beautiful pendulum for a second to verify something, because I hate this. For some reason, every once in a while, most of the time I get a good clear, I'll say, are you a spirit guide or an angel? And they'll say, usually, yes, a spirit or an angel. And every once in a while, for some reason, they'll say yes to both. And I'm like, I'll ask the question again, and they'll say yes to both. So when that happens, I just use my pendulum to confirm. So, is Virginia, I want this answered by Mary's guides, is Virginia a spirit? I just want an excuse to use this anyway. Yes. So she's definitely a spirit, because if she was an angel, she'd be a spirit guide, but she wouldn't be a spirit, like a human spirit. So I thought that was what my intuition was telling me, but I just wanted to verify so I didn't lead you astray. Okay, so you have Yolanda. Yolanda. Oh, look, who's visiting me again? Well, the whole family wants to say hi. Hi, Bruiser. Come here, buddy. Lately, he's been coming in during my readings. He's bringing good luck. So, Mary, you have extra luck on your reading here. Jinx. Hi. Hi, buddy. That's okay. You know black cats are good luck, right? I think he senses the energy. Seriously, like, that's what the belief is, that, you know, witches and people back in the old days would send the black cat in before they moved into a new house. And it's supposed to rid the house of negative energy and negative spirits. So he is definitely, I think, sensing the spirits around here, because he always comes around when I'm doing a reading. Always. And if he doesn't come up where you can see him, then he just sits there and meows. And he does it during my paid readings, which is annoying because I get distracted very easily. Can you tell? Yolanda, so she's an angel. She's got auburn hair, a little more reddish. Oh, do they, Nicole? And yes, they do, Penny Lane, for sure. She's got reddish auburn hair, wavy, very beautiful. This is Yolanda. And she, very light complected, white, thin. Then Virginia, who's your spirit guide, meaning that she has been a human. She still is human, but she's a spirit, of course. Virginia, show yourself to me, please. Dark brown hair, real dark. Medium length, a little bigger built, not quite as thin, but not big by any means. She's still small, just bigger than some of the other guides. She has a warm maternal energy about her. It looks like sometimes she wears glasses. Just depends on how she wants to look that day. What are you looking at? He's literally checking it all out. So yeah, they're stepping forward to let you know that they are two of your guides. I'm going to ask Yolanda what her specialty is. She's not your guardian angel, which means then you have at least one other angel that's a guardian angel, possibly two. I think you have two guardian angels. But she's a spirit guide angel, and I believe she's your healer guide, your doctor healer guide. Is that right? Yes. Okay, and Virginia is one of your main guides. One of two, almost three. You have a third one that's been there most of your life. But she's been there for you your entire life. Virginia has. So she's one of your 2 to 3 main guides. And I say that meaning your main guide. You have quite a few, but your main guide is like the one that's been with you from birth and stays with you all the way through death. And she's telling me you have 2 of those, but there's a third one that's been there most of the time and will probably stay, but hasn't been there since birth. So she likes to consider herself one of your main guides, even though technically she's not like assigned that, but Virginia is. So we have Yolanda and Virginia, and then we have your aunt, your grandmother, and your grandfather all stepping forward. So they want to know, who do you want to talk to? Because basically they all want to say hi to you. They all send their love, but they want to know from you, Mary, who you'd prefer to talk to. Because I asked what their messages were, and that's what they said. Well, we want to know what Mary wants. Okay, sure. I'll ask them. Did any one of them drink a lot of tea? I know that sounds weird, but that's like literally what I'm hearing. Bring me the tea. Did they drink a lot of tea, or I mean, they're showing me a tea set. So I don't know if that resonates with you or makes any sense, Mary. That would be your aunt. Okay. Because she's telling me bring her the tea, and I feel like she's saying she's saying this to validate for you that she's present, this is her, but that's what she'd like to have right now. If she could have anything, she'd like a good cup of tea. Just a spot of sugar. Or maybe a little more. Okay, good. Well, that's their way of validating that this is them. Now see, that might not seem like much, but it is, because hardly anybody in my family drinks tea. I like it a lot, and I drink a lot of iced tea. But if you said that to me in a reading, I'd be like, not us. So thank you for validating for that for me. And I think that's funny, because it's like, if they could be here right now, that's what they'd be doing. They're saying, having some tea with you, having a tea party. But let me ask them your question. They just started to say that before your comment came across. So let me definitely ask for their advice here. Okay. They're saying that I'm hearing that you need to put one foot in front of the other, one step at a time, Mary. Trust your heart and know that you know in your heart what the right thing is to do. And I feel like they're saying now is the time to make some changes. That it's time to make a move. And I'm not sure what they're referring to, but whether it's career or home, but I feel like they're saying you should know that it's time to make a move in the area that's making you unhappy, make a change. And they're saying, you know in your heart that something has to give, but you're kind of stuck or afraid. And they're saying just one foot in front of the other, following your heart will take you where you need to go. And not to be afraid that the universe has your back, they've got your back, your guides have your back. And that as long as you follow your heart and your intuition, you can't go wrong. Yeah, that's what I feel like. You're almost feel like you're up against a brick wall and like you know that there's stuff you need to get to on the other side, but you just can't get past that wall, almost like you're paralyzed, like your feet won't take you there. Like even if there's a rope hanging to climb over it, you just can't bring yourself to go over it even though you know you need to. And they're saying, you can do this. You can. And they're saying, you're in the midst of the storm right now, but there will be calm after it. But you gotta keep moving forward. Otherwise you stay stuck in the storm. If you continue just pedaling and not going anywhere, you never get anywhere. And that's not what they want for you, Mary. They want to see you get around, through it, whatever you got to do, go. But go. Yeah, I can understand that. Ask them to simplify the signs. See, Jinx says to. See? Right, Jinx? Yeah, that's right, buddy. Tell Mary. Yeah, they're saying you can ask them to clear it up for you. Tell them you're confused. You're not sure what they mean. To simplify the signs. I'm also hearing your dreams. To listen for messages in your dreams, and that you can ask for them to simplify those as well, so that you remember the message when you awake. Yes, he's a really cool cat. One day I'll tell you all the story about him. He's actually an angel kitty. I truly believe that our guides have sent 2 black cat kittens at different times in my daughter's life to save her life. First one saved her during a major asthma attack out on a farm that we were spending the night at. And this one brought her out of a severe depression, just showed up on our doorstep out of nowhere, like literally dropped on our doorstep. And she was in really, really bad, scary state. And that cat totally saved her life. Completely. Jinx did. But anyway, yeah, Mary, they're telling me they know that it is hard. They know it feels overwhelming and too much at times. But you got to remember, you're not alone. You're never alone in this, ever. That you always have people by your side. You have them by your side. Your loved ones are always with you. But they're asking you to really trust. You've got to trust that you'll make the right choices. And as scary as it can be and as hard as it can be, if you just take that leap of faith and do what you feel you should do with your intuition, trusting it, trusting your heart, that even though it may seem unsteady at first, or even you might for a second think you made the right choice, that it will all straighten out and it will be the right choice in the long run. In the long run, you will not regret the decision because it's exactly where you're meant to be, or you wouldn't have made that choice. I hope that makes sense. Yeah, that's what they're saying. I'll ask them about your career, but I feel like they're talking about your career with this too. I feel like there's a couple areas this advice applies to, and career is one of them. And they're saying, until you learn to trust, you'll always be afraid because there's nothing ever to make you think it's going to be okay. So you're always going to be terrified. Okay, it's all intermingled right now. Yeah, so they're saying, you're never going to be able to keep moving forward in a positive way until you learn to trust. They're saying they need you to recognize that your lack of trust, they're saying they know it's not easy. They get that. But your lack of trust is actually blocking you from your success. It actually stands in the way, in between you and exactly what you want. But they're saying it's not going to be easy, but you need to do some inner work to work on that, learning how to trust. And they want you they said this may sound like kind of a spiritual cliche, but it really is important and it really does make a difference. That they want you to focus on gratitude and appreciation by sitting down and making a list of all the things that you are blessed with, all the things that you're grateful for. And focus on that and do that about once a week. And it can be hard, especially when you're really struggling that week. But do it anyway. Force yourself to do it. Sit down and write what you're grateful for that week or in general. And they're saying, and if you can remember as often as possible every morning when you get up, whether you're drinking your coffee, your tea, whatever, having your breakfast, or driving in the car, to tell yourself that day what you're grateful for that morning. By doing that as often as possible, it actually switches something off in your brain about the negative that we can so easily focus on, and it switches it over to the positive, and it really can make you start seeing things from a different perspective. And when you start recognizing and seeing just how much you have to be grateful for, instead of thinking about what you don't have, what you're lacking in, or what hurts you have, it actually forces you into a trusting mindset, because you start to recognize, hey, I know I've got it bad. I know I've been hurt a lot. I've been knocked down a lot, but I've got all these amazing things to be grateful for, and that means whoever you believe provided it, God, Goddess, Source, Creator, or just the universe, whoever you believe provided that, means all of these things they're responsible for. And all of these things they provided and gave you when you needed it the most. And it helps you start to recognize that you can trust them to provide again and again and again. When you look back over the times that you went through a lot of hardships, you'll see, hey, right when I needed it most, God or the universe provided this, and He provided that. And now I realize I've always had a roof over my head, or I've always had food in my stomach. And it really helps to make you start being more trusting. Does it happen overnight? No. But it happens a lot faster than you think it does. It really does. Going back here to read your comments. Okay, great. Well, then that's a perfect start, Mary. If you've already been thinking that way, then you've already been getting their message and didn't even realize it. That was a thought that they helped put into your head. So that's perfect. That's validation that you are receiving their messages, even if they are coming through fuzzy or confusing. At least you are getting it. So that's wonderful. Yeah, so those blessings are things that were provided by, God, Mother Nature, our great and powerful universe. And if you can trust them and know that they gave you all those amazing, beautiful things, then you can trust that they're going to get you through the next obstacle, and they'll provide whatever resources and needs you need to meet your goals and to get through these difficult times as well. You also have to look back, and this might be helpful as well, they're mentioning, to write down another list about all the hardships or the challenges, whatever you want to say, obstacles, challenges, adversity that you've come through and are now on the other side of it. Oh, good. Just popped into your head one day. Yeah. That's great, Penny Lane. So yeah, if you make a list, and you don't have to do this every day, you can just do it once, but if you sit down and make a list of all the hardships you've come through and overcome, and look at how you're now on the other side of that, and recognize how those times were only temporary, no matter how overwhelming it seemed, even if it went for weeks or even months or a year or two, it was still only temporary, and you're on the other side of it now. And you were provided for through all of that. If you can recognize that and make a list of those things, then too, again, you'll be able to trust that you can get through this stuff as well, and that the universe will hold your hand through it. Your guides will guide you through it. You can trust all of them to provide what you need to get you through it. So just focusing in general as much as you can on gratitude and appreciation, and they're also saying self-love, Mary, working on loving yourself and loving everything about yourself, even your shortcomings, will help you to learn to trust even more, and it'll put you in a loving, unconditional loving mindset. So the combination of all of that, they're saying, is going to really help you get through all of this. But they're saying, we know it's not easy. Every human struggles with these things. And they want you to take this mindset about your work too, your career. Kind of look over your career and ask yourself, what have I come through? How far have I come? And trust about your career as well. But most importantly, follow your intuition. They're saying you need to follow your heart when it comes to the career, because even if you had a dozen different offers and options career-wise, the only one that really matters is the one that you're going to be the happiest at. The only job that really matters is the one where you can go to work every day and not feel like it's totally work and it's agony. And ask yourself, they're telling me, imagine the worst case scenario when it comes to coworkers. Imagine going to work every day at all of these, any jobs that you're considering, any path you're considering. And imagine just every coworker being bitchy, being kind of bullying, gossiping, hens in a chicken coop kind of thing, where they're critical of you and make it difficult for you to do your job. They're saying, then imagine that at each one of those jobs. And if those were the only jobs you had to choose between, which one would you be able to tolerate in those circumstances? Because you enjoy the job so much that you're able to just go, keep your head down, do your job, enjoy your job, and leave, and not let any of that bureaucracy, crazy stuff, drama bother you. Oh, you just quit that job. Good for you. Then you're already doing a step in the right direction, Mary. Because they're saying, basically what they're saying is, imagine the worst case scenario when it comes to the people you have to deal with. As long as you love and enjoy the job, then you can deal with all the other BS. It might not be fun, it might not be enjoyable, but you can at least get through your day because you're enjoying what you're doing. Now, if 5 of the 6 jobs you have to choose from, you don't think you could tolerate because the job itself is not enjoyable, it's not something that you enjoy or are passionate about, or something that would get too repetitive or whatever, and then you throw all that bullshit in, excuse my language, of course you're going to hate it and you're not going to last long. But if one of those jobs, you truly enjoy doing the job, you like it, you're passionate about it, then that's the job for you. Because chances are at that job, all these people are not going to be there like that. It's not going to be the worst case scenario. Chances are there's going to be some pretty cool people working there. Probably similar people to you, because you all enjoy doing the same kind of things. But at least you know, if that stuff comes up, that you're at least enjoying your job every day. And even if you plan on quitting, you can tolerate it another 2-3 weeks, month, whatever, till you find another one. So basically what they're saying is find the job, follow the career that you truly enjoy doing. Find something you love to do. There's always going to be somebody to make life difficult at almost every job. But you love your job. It doesn't seem nearly as hard to deal with any of the other things that happen. In fact, it gets a lot more easier than it would if you hated the job too. Imagine hating the job itself, plus all the people, plus all the hours, plus everything else. I mean, it's just almost unbearable. Those are one of those things where you dread going to bed at night because you don't want to get up and go to work the next morning. So they really want you, they said, we're not going to tell you exactly what type of job to follow. Only you can decide that. but find something that makes you happy, that you truly enjoy doing. If you do that, then it's not going to be hard to get through something negative, and chances are those extreme cases won't happen. It'll still be a great place to work. You'll enjoy it, you'll love it, but if that stuff does start to happen, you'll be happy still. Does that make sense, Mary? Your grandmother said she really wants you to find a job where you feel at peace. Yes, good. Good for you. Well, see, you're like already a step ahead of everything I'm saying, which for one, thank you, it validates that Spirit's coming through accurately, but it also shows that you are getting those messages. Even if you feel a little confused about them, you're getting them. You just don't realize you're getting them, or you wouldn't already be on the right track with these things. And I think they're just reiterating it, what they've already been telling you, but you were confused by it. So they're telling me to try and make it more simple for you. But your grandmother said that she really wants you to find something that makes you happy, that you enjoy doing, because she said you really deserve that. She said you're a hard worker, you're very devoted, you're loyal, as long as you're not taken advantage of. And she said too many people in the past have taken advantage of you, and she doesn't, she hates seeing that. So she wants to know that it's definitely you choosing something that you really enjoy. Oh, good. I'm glad. That makes me very happy. Yeah, because Grandma said you deserve to be happy, and she thinks you're on the right track. But she said, don't settle. Don't settle. Go where you feel led to go, where you feel like your heart is leading you to. And she said, even though money, of course, is important because you have to make ends meet, don't let the money be the deciding factor. Let the job itself be the deciding factor. And trust that the universe will help you make the ends meet. That you'll be able to manifest the money that you need to if you can't find the job that you love with the higher amount of pay. And they're not saying you won't. They're just saying if it comes up to finding the job that you want, but it doesn't make quite as much as this other job that you won't love as much, she's saying don't settle for the job that makes more money out of fear of needing to pay the bills. She's saying take the job you're going to enjoy, that's going to make you happy, and trust that the ends will be met, that you will have everything that you need. What she's saying is, until you trust, and we know that's hard, we all have to some degree some amount of trust issue with something or somebody. But until you learn to trust, you can't receive the way that you need to. You actually close off your ability to receive in full abundance because you're not believing that it's going to really come to you. And your guides are telling me that they've been trying to prove to you for a long time that you can and will be taken care of. But because you get knocked back down or hurt again, you tend to pull back and have trouble trusting again. But they're saying the second that you go out there and say, okay, I'm going to take this job and I'm just going to trust that all my needs will be met and that I'm going to manifest everything that I need, and you go out there and you set the intention and you say to the world, I believe you, I trust you, that's when you'll be shocked at how it starts to roll in and it starts coming. And really, you got to put the intention out there that I am open to receiving it all. I am worthy of receiving. I am capable of receiving. And I deserve to receive. And all of that will open you to it starting to come in. Aw. He smiled and said, no, you didn't. I don't know if it's this grandfather or not, but he reacted. That's funny. Yeah, they're saying you can do this, Mary. You can. You've got this. Go out there and trust in yourself. And that's why they want you to focus on the self-love also. Because they really want you to trust yourself. You can't trust everybody else if you're not trusting yourself. So do the things that they recommended. And then set the intention that you are going to be able to manifest full abundance, that the universe really does have your back, and that everything's going to be okay. And once you set that intention and you state it, everything will start to change. Everything will turn around. And next thing you know, you'll be shocked at the fact that it's the truth. And you didn't believe it. All this time you'll think, I wish I would have done this earlier. Thank you, Nicole. Oh, I'm so good. I'm so glad. I can't wait to hear everything that's been going on with you. Absolutely. Oh, thank you, April. I'm glad you're here. Let's see. Let me see what else they have to say real quick. And before we wrap up, Mary, let me know if there's anything else you want to ask or say. And Nicole, let me know if Suzette said anything. I might have missed a message, or who else would be next, if not her. Oh, you're welcome, Mary. But let me see, while I wait for your answer, I'll see if they have anything else to say real quick. Oh, you're welcome. They said no, they know you got this. They trust you. They trust you. So now trust yourself, and it'll help lead to you trusting the rest, that the rest will work out. And they love you. You're very loved and supported. So thank you, Mary. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up then. Hi, Cynthia. Nicole, figure out who's next. Let me know. And I'm going to go check real quick to see if Hunter's out. He should have been by now, but we forgot to give him his medicine. If he's out, then I might be able to do 2 more readings. But if he's not, then I'm only going to probably be able to do 1 more, because I have to finish up early tonight. But at least 1 more person, possibly a second, but I need to go check real quick. Oh, I'll tell him, Mary. Awesome. That made them very happy. Okay, I'll be right back with you guys. Just stand by for a second. It'll only be a second, and we'll get started with the next person. Okay. All right, so Hunter's still awake, We normally give him his night medicine around 7:30, and around 9, shortly after 9, I realized nobody gave it to him yet. And oh my gosh, if we give it to him late, he tends to stay up and fight it that much harder, which is ridiculous for his size and age. Okay, so I'm going to have to play this by ear. We'll definitely do one more for sure. And after that one, if that one's, once I'm finished with this next reading, if I'm going to get up and check again, and if he's out, I'm going to have to go. But if he, excuse me, yeah, if he's out, I'm going to have to go. But if he's still awake, then I'll come back and do one more. Okay, so this reading for sure, possibly one more, but then I'm going to have to take off. So it's not going to be 4 hours like I do sometimes. But we're doing pretty good. It's already been almost 2 hours. By the time I get done, it'll be probably about 2.5 hours, maybe 3. Okay. I'm going to Penny Lane, and anybody that wants to join me to just say, Hunter Fetty's Guides, please help Hunter to fall asleep now. Please feel free to do so. I would really appreciate it. Let me prepare while you figure this out. Let me disconnect from everybody and prepare for the next reading. Okay. Pink. All right. Let's see. Okay. Okay, so trying to remember who was here before. Okay, so are we doing a roll call? Has anybody else spoke up? We know there's at least 8 people here. If any of you are on the list, anywhere on the list, and you'd like a reading tonight, please speak up and say your name right now. But please only if you're on the list, so that we honor and take whoever's closest to the top. But even if you're lower on the list, it's okay to just let us know you're here. Okay? Well, I'm really glad you guys are here, April and Tanya. But anybody else that's on the list that hasn't spoke up and let us know, please let us know. And honestly, we'll go with whoever is highest on the list, even if it's down towards the bottom. Because at this point, it really doesn't matter, just as long as somebody on the list gets read. Okay. Yeah, Penny Lane just got read. And not counting your paid reading, Penny Lane, because that doesn't cancel you off of the free list. I would never take you off for that. But Penny Lane has been read recently, within the last couple of weeks, on here. So we'll get back to you soon, Penny Lane. Okay, so then let's go ahead and take Tanya, if nobody is higher on the list speaking up, I'll tell you what, Tanya, please go ahead and prepare. Let me know what kind of a reading you'd like, what your question is, and if there's anybody specific you'd like to connect with. And if anybody else speaks up that's before Tanya on the list, then I will take them next and we'll wrap up. Penny Lane, if you were talking about what I said, I was just saying that even though you're higher on the list than Tanya, you've been read recently, and because of the 1 month waiting rule, we're not taking you tonight because of that. And I did just say I wanted to let you know that your paid reading doesn't cancel you off this list. So that's not even considered. If somebody pays for a reading, I would never take them off of the list or make you wait. But you have been read in a free live reading less than a month ago, so that's the only reason we're not taking you tonight. I know you know that. I'm just explaining in case anybody notices and sees that you're higher up on the list. I know why you keep seeing 1111, Michelle. And I know you're so sweet you don't want to ask to hold me up, but we're still waiting for Tanya's question anyway, so I'd be happy to answer that. Okay, so when you see random numbers repeatedly, like you start seeing them all over the place and you can't figure out why, the same number in multiples. Sometimes it's the same number, like 333, 44, 44, 11, 11. Sometimes it's consecutive numbers like 2, 3, 4. Whatever it is, if you keep seeing the same number every time, that is a number that's a message from your guides. Usually your angels, but could be either your spirit guide or your angels. It's something that they want you to look up. They're trying to get your attention. And it's a form of numerology. Believe it or not, whether you believe in numerology or not, the spiritual world is full of it. It is divinely used all the time by your guides. So that number isn't just to get your attention, but there's a message behind it. So what you want to do when you keep noticing, like let's say every time you look at the clock, every day you look at the clock at the exact same time at 4:44 p.m. and 4:44 a.m. Or you see the same number on a license plates as you go out, or a street sign, that's them getting your attention. And what you need to do is look around and think about what's happening in your life at that moment, particularly that moment you saw the numbers. Think about what state of mind you're in, what happened, what's been going on. Then look that number up online. So just put in the search engine, just say angel message 1111. Now I personally know what 1111 means, but so I'll tell you in a second. But whatever the number it is, just put in angel number 444 and look it up. And you will find lots of websites. There's a bunch of them. Ask Angels has an amazing ask-angels.com has an amazing directory. Joanne's Scribed blog has an amazing directory. Doreen Virtue has a directory. There's quite a few great directories out there. And the particularly 1111 is one of the most common angel messages that almost everybody begins seeing at the beginning of their journey. Now, in general, it basically is a call to your spiritual path. It's a call, it's usually seen when you're starting your spiritual journey. That was the very first number I noticed on my spiritual journey. My daughter had been seeing it throughout her daily life, and we had no idea that we were both seeing the same number over and over again. It is basically a call to follow your spiritual journey. And for most of us and many of us, it's also a call to be a light worker. But there's a couple different meanings depending on who you are and what's going on in your life. Now, the reason I say to stop and look at what's going on around you is because a lot of times the message is pertaining to what you were doing that day or at that moment when you saw it. Sometimes it's a general message about life overall and what you're going through that month or that year, but sometimes it's specific to what actually happened that day at that moment when you saw it. So I just told you what the general message is of 1111, but I'm going to give you the more detailed, a little more info on it. Sacred Scribes, angelnumbers.blogspot.com is Joanne's Sacred Scribes. If you see hers, it's phenomenal. I highly recommend hers. But it's made up, every time you see like 4 of the same number, like 1111, it's the number 1 4 times. So looking up what number 1 means, you have that message. That message is what they're trying to tell you. But every time it's repeated, imagine it amplified that many times. So number 1 is a message that resounds with vibrations and attributes of new beginnings and starting fresh, changing your life, taking leadership, and then multiply that 4 times, okay? So once you start seeing 1111, you'll often start to see an increase in synchronicities. Trust me, you do, which are coincidences that seem like miraculous coincidences, but they're not. Synchronicities happen for a reason. There's a spiritual reason usually behind it, and you almost always start noticing them when you start seeing 1111. At times when you're about to go through a major spiritual awakening, you will see this, or a huge epiphany of some kind that is life-changing. You'll see the number 1111 appear. Also, you may take notice, if it appears repeatedly, it signifies an energetic gateway is opening for you that will rapidly manifest your thoughts into reality, and it's the message to choose your thoughts wisely and to ensure that they match your true desires. And there's more to that. It goes on and on about following your spiritual path, and but always look them up, because if you don't, they'll just keep showing them to you until you do. They literally will. They'll keep showing you that dang number until you look it up and get the message. And you'll be like, why am I still seeing this for 6 months? Because it's a lesson that they want you to learn from it. So, Michelle, knowing you and having gotten to know you pretty well over the last month or two, it is a surefire sign to me that you've begun your spiritual awakening, and that they're letting you know they love you, they're surrounding you and supporting you, and that you're on the right path. So they want you to continue that path and follow your spiritual journey. I hope that helps. But with several new people here, that was a great question, so I'm glad you asked that. One of my future free classes I'm going to be offering is going to be on angel messages and messages from our guides. So Tanya, I saw your comment. Thank you for waiting. Future direction and loved ones. Okay, I will be happy to help you with that. Let me see who comes through for you, okay? Yeah, hang in there, April. You know what? Tonight is just a shortened reading compared to what I normally do, but normally on Friday nights I go 3 to 4 hours. So if I don't get to you tonight, chances are I will next week, because on Friday nights I usually go through the list pretty quickly, just because not that many people show up that are ahead of you on the list. So don't worry about being that far down on the list, even though it looks like a long list. How it played out tonight is kind of the normal. We get through the list pretty darn quick. Yes, I know you, Michelle. You will. Okay, so Tanya Norman. Okay, so Tanya would like any loved ones to come through. Tanya, future directions. Okay. Tanya, do you know a Sharon? Living or deceased? Family member, friend, or coworker? But I'm hearing the name Sharon. And William? So do you know Sharon or William? Now, these could be guides, or they could be loved ones, but I always ask before I try and connect with them to make sure it isn't somebody that's a loved one that's passed. Okay, no Sharon. Then while I wait for the response on William, I will find out who Sharon is, because I know it applies to you. I can tell that. You're welcome, Michelle. Okay. You do, April? Okay. April, I'll come back to you when I'm finished with Tanya then, and we'll try and figure out if Sharon is for you, okay? Let me see real quick if there is a Sharon for Tanya, though. Okay. Now, there could be a Sharon here for you, April, but I'm also hearing that there's a Sharon that is a guide for Tanya. So I'll verify whether or not there's a Sharon for you as well, April. I mean, a message about or for Sharon. But yes, I'm being told Sharon is a name of a guide for Tanya. She's an angel. And William. Let me see about William. Okay. All right. Thank you for validating the William, Tanya, but I'm being told that no, and I asked for a reason, so I'm glad you answered me, but I'm being told no, William is a spirit guide. So unless your William that you were close to back then has passed, I don't think it's one and the same. But he is a spirit, so he is a human spirit. So it is possible, but probably unlikely. It's just a coincidence. It's another William. But I always ask first, because even a spirit guide could be a loved one that's passed. So if you claim them as a loved one, I'd like to know that before I just assume he's a guide and we move on, and I don't realize that it's actually a loved one that's passed also, because that can happen, that when they die, they become a guide of yours. But we've got Sharon and William. So Sharon's your angel, one of your angels. William's a spirit guide. Sharon has blonde hair. Yeah, I don't think he's the same, Tanya, so thank you for letting me know. Sharon has blonde hair, medium length. Mostly straight, little bit wavy. She's got a bluish aura to her. So when you meditate, if you start to see a blue energy or blue aura, it very much likely could be her coming through. And William has short brown hair, like medium brown. I mean, it's short length, but medium color brown. He looks like he's in his mid to late 30s. Now, they can appear any age. It doesn't necessarily mean they died at that age. They get to kind of choose how they want to appear to us. So even if Grandma passed and she was 80, she could still appear to us in her 50s or 30s if she wanted to. Most of the time they don't. go that far back. But I just give you the description of how they're appearing so you have something to identify them by. So that if you do happen to see them in meditation or even with your own visible eye, if you have that gift, you'll recognize them as, yes, that's the one that Angel was talking about. And it won't scare you if you see this stranger appear before you that you've never seen before. Let's see. I just asked if there were any loved ones that have passed. And I heard yes, so now I'm going to find out who they are. Tanya, do you have a sister that's passed? Oh, you do often see the blue? Fantastic. Then that's probably who you're seeing. If you see it often, then I'm sure that's who it would be. If you only saw it like once, then it could be an archangel that visited you to help you out or something. But if you see it often, then it would be somebody that's with you all the time. But I'm hearing sister, so I'm wondering if you have a sister that's passed or someone that you had like a sister-like relationship with. Like a really close friend or a cousin or somebody that you were really close with, almost like a sister, or a sister-in-law even. I'll be interested to see your answer because I feel like there's somebody else coming through that might be for April. That might be speaking about this sister person. No, no sister. Okay, then that validates what I think. Let me ask this person. I think they're kind of jumping in line. Let me ask. Okay, I gotta write this down and come to April about it when I'm finished. Because I don't think this person is for you, meant to be for you, Tanya. Let me tell them to please, give me a moment just to tell them to step aside. I usually do this at the beginning, but I got distracted right before I came on with my little guy, so give me just a second. Okay, only people for Tanya Norman. Only spirit for Tanya Norman. Okay, all right. I had to tell them only for you. Only to let my gatekeepers only to let in your relatives at the moment. Okay. Oh, okay, that's fine, Nicole. I'll be finishing up soon anyway. Thank you, though, because I know who I'm going to next if I do another one. So go ahead and take off. And yes, I'd like to try and chat tomorrow, Nicole. So when you get up, let me know. Oh, thank you. Night. Oh, really, Tanya? Do you want to tell me her name? If you'd like, you don't have to, but if you tell me her name, I can confirm whether she is or not. Okay. Melinda. And this is a friend from school. Okay. So let me, once I get my phone working here. All right, there we go. So best friend from school. All right, let me ask your guides here. We have Sharon and William. Okay. Okay. Tell me, Tanya's guides, answer this for me. Okay. I got an answer, but I am double checking by asking the reverse answer. Okay. Tanya, the good news is I don't think she's actually passed. I don't think I'm being told that Melinda has not passed. I hope I'm correct about that, but I asked and I heard that no, she hadn't passed. So I just asked with my pendulum, is she still alive? And they said yes. And I said, just to play devil's advocate and make sure, I said, has she passed? And they said no. So if one of those was inaccurate or didn't match the other two answers, I would think that I was wrong, that they were wrong. But since they confirmed it 3 times, 2 different ways, I'm sensing that she's still alive. So amen for that, right? If there's ever a reason to be wrong, that's a good one. Okay, so that's awesome. So let's find out who else is here for you, Tanya, because I'm being told you do have family coming through. I just had to get Sharon out of the way and the other person that was trying to come through, asking about the sister. Oh, okay. Well, let me try and find out for you. Okay, Tanya, I'm being told there's a grandmother on your mom's side, I believe. Definitely a grandmother, I think, on your mom's side. Can you confirm that for me? That's here? That's passed, I mean? Yes. And could be a great-grandmother, but I'm hearing grandmother, and I'm hearing mom, so mom's side. Okay. Okay, was that your grandmother on your mom's side? I just told about grandmother, and then the comments came up saying the only female past I've been close to was my grandmother. I know, right? I just wrote that. I know, I just said that. Jinx. Oh, that's funny. Okay, good. Grandma's here. So that's wonderful, because if she's the one you was closest to, then I'm sure you really want to hear from her. So yeah, okay, great. Thank you for validating that. So grandmother, mom's side. And let me ask Grandma if she can confirm who has been coming through to you, the female that comes through often. Let's see. She said two different things. She said for one, it could be me. I tried to make contact with her, so if she's just sensing energy, it could be me. She said, but you do have a guide that comes through and tries to appear to you. It's a guide? Okay. And it's either Drusilla or Priscilla. Let me see if I can get that confirmed. Priscilla. She said she does appear to you quite often. She tries to anyway. She's one of your main guides and is trying to connect with you, to bond with you, to introduce herself. Does it feel like it could be a guide, Tanya, or do you feel like it's something different, like it's like someone deceased? If you can't tell the difference and it could be either, then it's probably her. But if you're sensing something different, like a spirit other than a guide, then I need to go back and ask one of your guides if there's an actual spirit that's coming, trying to present themselves to you, because it could be both. And some people know the difference and can sense the difference in those energies. Some can't. So that's the only reason I'm asking. Good. You're aware of your grandma. Good. Yeah. She's definitely tries to, or she's always with you. Always. But she tries to make herself known quite a bit, she said. So yeah, let me know what you think. If you can't tell any different, then chances are it's this guide. Okay. It probably is then. The only reason I'm asking is because I didn't know how versed at this kind of thing you are. And if you've been doing this a long time, some people are like, no, I can tell the difference between a guide and a spirit, regular spirit, and this feels different. So I'm pretty sure, I'm going to confirm, pretty sure this is who it is. But I just wanted to make sure so that you weren't thinking, no, I know it's somebody else. So let me ask real quick, just to make sure that nobody else is trying. No. Okay. And I'll ask with the pendulum just to make sure. I want this answered by Tanya's guides. Is there any other kind of spirit trying to connect with Tanya other than her guides and grandmother? Any other female? Okay, they're saying no. And that's what I got clairaudiently, that no, it is this guide. But because she's a spirit guide, she can feel like a regular spirit. But she indeed is a guide, so it's perfectly safe. Okay, let me see if I can get a description of her too. Okay, she has almost like a bob cut, but mid-length, dark blonde, straight, almost, some people would consider it light brown, but I consider it dark blonde. Thin. She looks pretty young. Maybe in her 20s. Let me see what else, if there's anything else, any other reason she's trying to connect than what I said, trying to connect, to introduce herself and connect with you, bond with you. Okay, she's your spiritual guide. Your doctor, spirit guide. So she's your spiritual guide. In other words, the one that helps you on your spiritual path, your spiritual journey. And that's why she's trying to connect with you, to make her presence known, to let you know you're being guided on this process, and to let you know that it is her job to kind of help lead you down this path and introduce you and guide you towards the right things. So she's saying that she's just trying to tell you, introduce herself to you. She understands it's hard for you to understand this yet, to get the messages that she's offering, and that will come with time. You'll get more and more better at discerning these messages. But she's saying she just wants to introduce herself and say, hey, I'm here. This is who I am. Whether you know my name or not, this is what I look like. And even if you just sense my energy or my aura, that's fine. Just get to know what I feel like, and it sounds like you are, because you can tell the difference between her and your grandma, and that you can call upon me and ask me for help and guidance with your spiritual path. And because this is relatively new to you, she wants you to know that you have someone specific that you can call upon for this process. Okay, so now that we know who she is, let's see what her and Grandma have to say about it giving you any guidance, direction. Oh, well, yeah, I can understand that, Tanya. I remember being there. I wanted to reach out to my guides so badly, meet them and figure out who they were, and I really struggled because I couldn't visualize very well. I couldn't even use my imagination, and I got really frustrated because for the longest time I'd try meditating, I'd try to get them to come through, and I knew they were trying, but I wasn't seeing them, and it was very frustrating. So those early times, those early days when you're still learning this is quite frustrating, but trust that it will get easier. It will get better. As long as you don't give up on it and avoid it completely, you will learn and it will open up more in the future. Hi, Rich. Okay, so let me check on any messages they have for you. Let me see what they have to say. Okay, they're saying that they really, really want to see you continue on this path. They really want to see you continue to develop a relationship with, it's up to you if you want to, develop a relationship with individual guides, but just in general, with your guides in general. They want to see you asking them for help, calling on them for questions, and then watching and waiting for answers, whether they be in those numbers that we were just talking about, the 1111 and such, or whether it be finding them in songs or things that people say to you that you answer a question that you asked just yesterday of a guide. It can be in all kinds of ways, but they really want to see you continue down this path, because they're saying if you continue down this path spiritually and open your heart up to your guides, then you're going to find the direction that you're seeking about your future. that you will have constant guidance at your side with them. Then all you'll have to do is ask and you'll get direction from them. But until you open up that bond and that ability to communicate with them, you're going to still be in the realm that you have been all this time, feeling like you're not getting the guidance. Yeah. And they're saying, just remember, and you may have heard me say this earlier, but they honor our free will and they don't want to step on our toes or our boundaries. So a lot of times we need to be specific about what we ask for, because if it's a matter of free will or choice, they won't step in. Yes, they'll step in like a big emergency or something like that, but they won't necessarily step in if it's something that's up to us, because they don't want to step on our toes. They want to honor that freedom of choice. But if you give them specific, let's say it's a choice that you need to make and you really don't know what choice to make, so you know that you trust that they're going to know what's best for you. So you give them permission and say, I really want your help in this matter. You know what's best for me. Please guide me to do what's best for me in the long run. Okay, normally they wouldn't intervene there because it's a free will choice. But because you gave them permission and asked for them to help, regardless to whether it's free will choice, because you're trusting them to guide you in the right direction, now they can step in. Now they can guide you properly. Sometimes we expect them to guide us everywhere the right way, but we don't recognize that they can't in that particular matter because that's a free will matter. And it's not that they don't want to. They just want to honor our free will. And we also have to recognize that we made plans before being born for our life. So we may have put something into motion that now is happening, and we want to change it now, not knowing that we put that into motion before birth as our choice of lifestyle we wanted to lead. Well, they're not going to interfere because they know that that was a life choice that we made before we were born. But if we give them permission and ask them, regardless to what it is, I don't want it to happen anymore, will you please cancel it or whatever, then they may be able to still intervene on your behalf and prevent something from happening that you don't want to happen. But without that permission and specific detail as to what you want, they can't and they won't. So they want you to understand that not only do they want you to ask for help, but please give them permission and be specific about what you want. I know it seems silly because we think, well, they know what we want. You know, they can read our minds. But it's not so much that. It's just that they need to make sure that we're okay with that, and that we've thought things through, and they don't assume things. Just because we think something, we think lots of things, and then we change our mind on the spur of a moment. So we may hate our husband at the moment and say we want to leave them, but tomorrow we changed our mind. So that's why they need us to explain and ask in detail. I've been feeling like I'm headed on a path I didn't choose. I have been unsure it's the correct path. Okay. All right. They're saying that this is one of those situations where something that you did or chose put you on this path, whether you realize it or not. And that it's okay because you can change it. Just ask them for help in changing it. I mean, they're not going into detail about how or what put you on this path, but they're basically saying there's something that was in the works that you did approve or chose without knowing, maybe subconsciously or prior to birth. But they're saying whatever this is, it's not too late to change it, to ask for help. And they will help you. And the only way they wouldn't help or let it intervene is if it's something, a true real life lesson that you have to learn, that it's not possible to get out of. And there are some of those situations where they can't intervene because it's a big life choice that we said, no matter what, no matter how much we cry, don't let me out of it. Okay? And or Creator, God, or whoever says, no, she has to go through this for this purpose because it's part of the greater picture and the bigger plan, and she'll be glad in the long run. So those kind of situations they can't. But it is quite possibly a past life choice. It is very possible, Tanya. Let me see. I can ask them. Hi, Matt. I would love to read for you, but unfortunately I can't. I'm either on my last one or my second to last one, and if I still do one more, I've already got the person lined up because I've already been going for a couple of hours. But if you'd like to be read for next Friday, you can, when you get out of this page, out of the video and go back to the main page, there's a pinned post that says sign up list, and you can put your name in the comments and you'll be added for next week. And we go by the list every week. So please add your name to that. Just put your name in the comments and you'll be added, and then come back next week and see if we get to you that by then. Okay, so Tanya, let me ask. And I'm hearing yes, that it does have something to do with a past life decision. But they're still saying you can ask us for help with it. And we can either, they're saying I can't say we'll totally take you off of the path, but we'll help you with it to make it easier and something that is more pleasing to you. So I hope that kind of makes sense. Okay, so they definitely want you to continue the spiritual path. They're asking you to do whatever you can to continue to keep your vibration up, because the more you work at keeping your vibration up between meditating, talking to your guides, talking to spirit, keeping high vibrational crystals nearby, lighting incense, sage, candles, essential oils, being out in nature, being physically active, all of these things keep your vibration up, and they're saying the more you work at keeping your vibration up, the easier this path will become. The easier you'll be able to hear your guides, the easier you'll be able to get the messages that they're trying to get through to you, and you'll actually develop any spiritual abilities that you may have even stronger, and it will affect your overall life and direction, is what they're saying. So something as simple as keeping your vibration up can keep you on the right path and keep you giving you the guidance and the direction that you're seeking. And I sound like a broken record. I apologize, because Spirit said this previously in the other reading, that but I think it's because a lot of people are still new at this, fairly new. They're saying to make sure to trust your intuition, because your intuition is divinely guided. So even though it just seems like a thought in your head, it's actually your spirit can influence those thoughts. So when you get that gut feeling or that instinct, and as long as it doesn't feel negative or like you shouldn't be doing something, well, even then it can be, I mean, as long as it's not asking you to do something that you know a guide wouldn't ask you to do, let's put it that way, then it is guided by your guides. So you can trust it. It won't steer you wrong because they're helping to steer it. So they want you to recognize that your intuition is divinely guided. Okay? And your grandma wants to really tell you she loves you. She said you're doing the right things. She said, don't worry, honey, because by doing just what you're doing now and what we're talking about, you'll be surprised at how guided you become, how easily you receive the messages. And they're saying, follow the synchronicities. So all those coincidences are signs that you're receiving guidance. Yeah, she's very sweet. Very sweet. She said, I know it feels hard that I'm not there, that we can't just sit and talk like we would if I was here with you in the flesh. She said, but you can still tell me and talk to me the way that we would if you could still see me there, because I'm still here, I'm still listening. I don't know. That's a good question. Let me ask. Okay, now what they're telling me sounds a little hard to hear. Like, I want to make sure it's a name. So I want to make sure I'm getting the right name. So I'm going to confirm this here. Okay. I want Tanya's guides to answer this. Hold on a second here. Okay, is the male figure both of her sons? Excuse me just a second. I gotta turn my fan off. It's blowing the pendulum everywhere. Okay. Sorry about that. As soon as it would start to pick up speed, it would go off track. Alright, so is the male figure Tanya's boys both reports? Okay. Let me check something, because this is really interesting. I need to look something up real quick to find out why this person would be appearing to your boys. It's actually somebody pretty famous. Whoops. Hi, Kimberly. absolutely correct, Isabel. Thank you. Or is that Isabel? Sorry. Um, you are correct. Let me read this real quick. I'm just looking up this particular person to see why he might be with your family. Hmm. Diplomats, priests. This is really interesting. Sorry it's taking so long, but I just want to give you some information here. Tanya's guide. Okay, Tanya. This was surprising to me. It's definitely possible. I mean, I've heard of it before. It's just surprised me, caught me off guard. I expected who your boys were seeing to be seeing it a normal, typical spirit or guide, but I'm being told that your boys have the same ascended master looking after them. And this is possible, but it's usually for a specific reason. An ascended master, if you're not sure who they are, is someone that is very spiritually advanced, very wise, that was a teacher, a helper, a healer of sorts when they lived their lifetime. They helped humanity in a great way, and they got to the point of ascension within their spiritual path, and they actually became what we call ascended masters, and they have volunteered to help guide different individuals here on earth still, to help them guide them to their on their spiritual path. Ascended masters can be with anyone, but they tend to hang around people that have a very important life path, that have a life mission of helping humanity in a big way. And because of this, your boys, I'm being told, actually are seeing Saint Germain. Now, this is just one image, person's idea of what he looks like. He may look totally different than this to your boys, but I'll show you if you can see it without the glare there. This is what this person says that he looks like. He may appear to your boys with or without the mustache, or his hair a little different. I mean, all the archangels look a little different to each person, but have some semblance of a similarity. So I asked why your boys would both be seeing Saint Germain, and I heard that he is helping them. While he's not technically one of their spirit guides, he is with them, guiding them occasionally here and there to help them along their path. And he is, I'm sorry, hold on while I put my phone back here. Saint Germain is also known as the keeper of the golden or violet flame, and the keeper of the violet ray, the seventh ray. And because of this, I asked if your boys happen to be universal children. Because a lot of universal children have these ascended masters guiding them. And I was told yes, that your boys are universal children. And if you know what they are, then that's great. Also called star seeds or star people. And it basically means that your boys are here with a very important life purpose. I don't want to take up too much more time because I have to be going soon, but okay, good. You know that they both are. Well, then that makes perfect sense. That is why Saint Germain is with them. If you're interested in learning more about it, only if you feel drawn to it, but if you go back out of this onto my main page, the Divinity, Trinity, and a Wee Bit of Me, you'll see links to my different pages, and you can click on the video link, and I have a free class that I offered on this matter. Okay, great. If you'd like to learn more about them, you can watch that free video that explains a lot in detail about universal children, their purpose, why they're here, and whatnot. But I believe if they have Saint Germain following them, then I recommend teaching them how to use the violet flame. And you can look that up. It's very prevalent on the internet. How to use the violet flame is all you have to look up. I don't know what ages they are, but as soon as they're old enough to, if not already, you can just give them some fun little visualization games to visualize this purple flame, this really cool purple flame, but tell them this flame can't hurt you. It protects you. It does just the opposite. It helps ground your energy. It helps keep bad stuff away. And it's very healing. It raises your vibration. And I believe, Tanya, that if your boys are seeing Saint Germain, that it would be very helpful for you to use the violet flame for yourself to help keep your vibration up as well. Just visualizing the violet flame forming around you, either like a column or a box around you, and then imagining the flame working its way down your body and taking a deep breath to inhale it and exhale all the gook and junk, all the toxins from within the body, and imagine it just cleansing, burning off gently, but of course it doesn't hurt you. Burning off any negative energy, entities, attachments, cords, and whatnot. If you're trying to remove cords and attachments, you can actually even imagine it spinning around you in like a tornado or a funnel, and just imagine those attachments and hooks flying off of you as it spins around. And there's so many different ways you can use the violet flame. It's really, really incredible, the energy that it carries. And with the violet color being the highest vibrational color of the rainbow, it really has a good calming effect while raising your vibration. So yes, it is definitely him, and I believe that he is looking over both boys, but he's also, in a sense, watching over the whole family, which can be very helpful. Okay. Yeah, you're very welcome. I'm glad that you asked that so we could figure that out for you. Okay, so Tanya, I need to wrap up, but did you have anything else you want to say or ask of Grandma or your guides before we go and move on? And then I'm going to go check and see. I may need to finish up. If my son's out, I'm going to have to be done for the night. But if he's still awake, then I'll go ahead and do April. To answer your question, April, I apologize. I did see your question, and a loved one absolutely can visit you in your dreams. That is one of the easiest ways for them to visit you, because we are more open and accessible and open to receiving the messages in dream state. So if you see them in a dream and you can remember it and it seems pretty vivid when you wake up, then that was real. They 100% visited you in your dream, and you can trust that it was real. If you vaguely remember that they seem like they were in your dream, or you thought about them, it still could very well be real, but it's possible that it wasn't actually them really there, but they put the thought into your mind to make you think about them. So, but almost always when you think about somebody or dream about a loved one, it's what's the word I'm looking for? Influenced by them one way or another. Either they're visiting you in your dream or they're making you think about them. Yes, that's pretty common, Tanya. Sometimes we get shocked, we get startled, or in them trying to connect with us, unfortunately, we wake up suddenly. But that's validation that you definitely had them in your dream. Okay, I saw your message, Tanya. I'm glad that you're good. I'm going to go ahead and tell your family, your grandma, and your guides goodbye for you on your behalf. Let me see. Okay. Grandma says goodbye. She loves you. Okay. So I'm very glad we were able to do that for you, Tanya. Okay, you guys, stand by for just 1 minute. If you're just joining and don't know what's happening, I'm trying to decide if I'm going to do one more reading or not. I've already been on for quite a while. I got to go check and see if my son's sleeping. If my son's asleep, I have to go, and I know that sounds backwards, but that means I got plans that I have to take care of. But if my son's still awake, I can't do those plans, so I'll be back to do one more. So give me just a minute. I'll be right back with you, okay? Okay. Thank you for waiting, guys. Okay, listen. I do need to go. My son is out, but April, you've been so sweet to wait, and unfortunately we will be starting back at the top of the list again next week like we always do. I can't do a full reading for you right now. Normally once I read somebody, I'll take them straight off the list. And you can always add your name back on, but it's supposed to be one free reading per month so that I can get to everybody. But April, if you're still here, because you were so patient to wait so long, I'll go ahead and answer one question for you tonight, and I'll keep you on the list for next week so you can have another reading next week. That way, it's worth your time for staying so long, and you still have the chance to get a full reading, well, full to the extent of what everybody else has. So are you still with me, April? And if so, let me know what that one question is that you'd like to ask. And if April is gone, then I'm going to go ahead and wrap up for the night. I appreciate everybody's patience. Normally I do go longer. Sometimes I go, see, I've already gone almost 3 hours though, even with starting a little bit late. But I usually go about 4 hours. Okay, sure, April, let me check. Give me just a second. I need to disconnect from Tanya's loved ones. Then I'll see who steps through for you, okay? So April Ridbeck Hildreth. Okay. Any messages for April? Andrew. Okay, April, I'm hearing the name Andrew. Do you know of an Andrew? Could be Andrew, Andy, or Drew, any form of Andrew. Could be living or deceased. Thank you, Michelle. I appreciate that. Hunter's out though. He's asleep. I have a movie I've got to watch with my husband tonight. He works the rest of the weekend, and it'll be our only time to be together. So that's why I promised him I wouldn't do as long of a reading tonight. And but thank you. I appreciate it. And since I do this 2 nights a week and he works 2 jobs, we don't get to see each other very often. Okay. Andrew, he's your daughter's boyfriend. Okay? Then let me see who is saying this, because that could just be spirits, whoever the spirit is, validating that somebody in your life. Let me see who else they validate, or what else they validate, to see who this is. Do you know an Alex? Grandpa. Do you know an Alex, and do you have a grandfather that's passed? Okay. Okay, so I've got an Alex, I got your grandpa, and I'm also hearing the name Dawn. So let me know if Alex or Dawn. No Alex. Okay. Alex could be a guide. I'll check on that. Grandfather. I think on Dad's side. But doesn't have to be. I'm just sensing like... Okay, Alexis. Because I almost said it could be an Alexis. Okay. Who's Alexis to you? Because I swear, I just almost said it could be Alexis. And then I got on a different thought pattern. Okay. Okay, so we got Andrew, we got Alexis, and we've got Dawn. And I'm pretty sure this is all Grandpa's way of confirming, just validating that this is Grandpa, he knows you, and he knows the people that are in your life. But I'm curious to know who Alexis is to you. Cousin, okay. Alexis, cousin. Okay, so let me just ask to make sure I'm correct on that, and if there's not more of a message around any of these people. But I'm pretty sure this is just validating random people in your life to let you know that you know. And it seems weird. I know sometimes we think, well, why wouldn't he mention somebody I'm closer to or my own relative or whatever? But that's not how they do. In fact, that would be obvious. A lot of times they want to validate somebody a little newer in your life, like the daughter's boyfriend, because that's not somebody he would have known necessarily when he was alive. So it's even more validating that he's been here with you. That's their way of trying to tell you they're aware of what's going on in your life right now and who's in your life right now. But let me double check. Yeah, okay. And I'm also being told there's a great-grandmother present. Great-grandmother and a great-aunt. Are all with them. I'm hearing a brother also. And I'm thinking it's like a great uncle. Yeah. So do you know if Grandpa had a brother that's passed? Or if you have a great aunt and a great uncle that were brothers and sisters that are passed? Because I'm hearing that there's a brother there somewhere, and I think it's Grandpa's brother, but it could be your aunt's or your great-grandmother's brother. I'm hearing Roy. I don't know if you know a Roy, if there could have been a great uncle named Roy or Leroy. But once we get everybody introduced, then I'll find out what your message is. Okay, Grandpa had a brother. Good. So, okay. Okay, and yes, you have, okay, they're both gone now. So they're together then. That's their way of validating they're together, right? Because I'm saying right to him. Because that's what I felt at first, it was his brother. And it was their way of saying that we're together. And that you have a great-grandmother and a great-aunt there as well. But do you know of any Roy? And once I try and figure out who Roy is, he was your grandpa's brother. Okay. So Uncle Roy. Okay. So again, just Grandpa's way of validating Roy being in his life and yours, even if you never met him. He's just validating that it's really him, he's really here. And that's probably his reason for validating them, is because, starting off with Andrew may not have seemed like a real match, or mentioning your cousin was a real match, but then saying your middle name and his brother and Roy all would continue to validate and make sense. So thank you for validating that for me. Now let me see what the message is. Okay. There's more there for you, but those are the ones that are immediately stepping forward that I can talk to easily. Okay, his brother Ed. All right, great. Okay, so let's see what Grandpa wants to share, and all of these loved ones. Do you have a child, April? Something about a child. Trying to figure out if it's your child or if you're showing me a picture of you when you were younger. Okay, thank you. So let me, now that I know that, I can ask about. Okay, this is just their way of validating they're aware in your of what's going on. They're showing me one child. I'm not sure if you have more than one, but it could just be symbolic of children. But they're showing me this child and saying that this child's beautiful. They're aware of the child, even though the child was born, since a couple of them have died, so they never got to see him. Sorry. Is it a girl, April? I'm sorry, it's when I get reading this long, my energy gets a little short, and this child has, from the angle they're showing me in the hair, looks like a girl, or it could just be a really pretty boy, really cute boy, but I think they said girl. Either way, it's really cute. Anyway, they're just really proud of this child, saying even though they didn't all, meaning grandpa, uncle, great grandmother, and great aunt, not all of them got to be there to meet this child. You have a girl and a boy. Okay. Even though they didn't get to know these children, because I didn't actually ask how many to them, just you. They're aware of them, very proud of them, think they're beautiful. They say you're a really good mom, and they say that you beat yourself up over your mistakes, that you're hard on yourself about your mistakes sometimes, or you feel guilty about some things sometimes. Is this true, April? But they say you're a really good mom. You just are like all moms. You make mistakes at times, and we all do. And I don't know exactly what they're referring to. I don't know if this was just a one-time thing or multiple times, but they're saying don't be so hard on yourself. You just get back up and you do the right thing the next day. And that children are resilient, and they have such great ability to come back from things, and they have unconditional love. And you'd have to be a horrible mother and make lots of mistakes continuously before they finally get to the point where they wouldn't forgive you anymore, or they, not forgive you or wouldn't love you. And they're saying you don't have to worry about that. Don't beat yourself up over the past. Don't beat yourself up over your mistakes. Focus on the here and now and being the best mom that you're capable of being for them today. I'm hearing obstacles, like you have faced a lot of obstacles, and some of these obstacles have affected your kids, I believe. And they're saying, forgive yourself Love yourself. And know who you are in your heart. Your kids love you very much. And they always will. And for good reason, they said. I need to wrap it up, but I'm just going to see like one last, did you want to tell them one last thing before we wrap up? And we can always try and reconnect again next week or when you get read. But is there anything you want to say to them before we go? At least we know they're all there now and that we can connect with them. I mean, that was a sweet message all by itself, but I'm sure you get more, a lot more next time. Oh, I'm glad. I'm glad that that was helpful. It was very sweet. I think we can all get like that as parents. It's not an easy job, and sometimes we make choices that affect them, and it's the great thing about kids being so resilient. Okay, I'll be happy to tell them for you. They said we love her too, and that we can talk again soon. So next week we can either connect with them again or we can see who else comes through. It'll be your choice at the time when to, decide who you want to try and connect with or if you want to try and connect with somebody else. So I'm glad that much helped. I know it was very short, but at least you got a little bit of message in there and know who's there watching over you. So thank you, April. Thanks for that chance, and thank you for being so patient, sticking with us the whole time. Okay, so any of you that are watching that would like to be read in the future, please do add your name to the list. This list does move pretty quickly because a lot of the people at the top of the list are not here, so we skip ahead and jump down to whoever's present. So if you'd like to be added to the list, please, after this video, go back to the main page that it pops up and look in the options list and excuse me, no, that's my other group, my Tuesday night group. Okay, there's a pinned sign up list towards the top of the page that says sign up list, put your name in the comments, and you'll be added to the list. And then all you have to do is tune in next Friday to see if we get to you or not, and if we don't, then we probably will the very following week. But either way, it goes pretty quickly. Thank you, April. You're very welcome. But thank you so much for joining me. I love you all. If you'd like to watch any previous readings that I've done in the past, you can find that in the video option at the main page. Just click on videos and you'll find my previous readings as well as a couple different free classes that I've offered. A class on pendulum, basic pendulums, how to choose a pendulum, what can interfere with them, how to cleanse, charge it, and everything else, along with a class on universal children and something else, a couple other videos, and I will be offering another free class coming up here soon. I just got to get the date down. Initially, I announced the week before last that it was going to be this past Wednesday, but things fell through. I couldn't do it, so I will be announcing that in the next couple of days. So watch for that announcement. Click on like to follow me if you'd like to be notified of upcoming events. All right, guys, I love you so much. Thank you so much for spending your Friday evening with me. It's truly an honor. It's not one that I take lightly. So I really hope you'll come back and join me again next week. Okay? Take care. I love you all. Enjoy your Friday and your weekend. Namaste.